Hi, it's Chris with Implied Music, and today I've got Westwood's Novella Carbon, the third in the Novella series. If you're not familiar with it, the Novella series bundles a bunch of instruments that tend to work as a group aimed at a specific type of scoring. There was the Origins, and then kind of a Western effect one that had some, great instruments, and we're talking an entire ensemble. Today's offering, Novella Carbon, is aimed at the dark side of scoring, and it's got a passel of great, beautifully designed instruments that really lend itself to the dark side of film and cinematic work. So let's take a look at it today. The other novellas have been very useful in my work. Composers frequently will design a set of instruments for a project and stick with that palette, right? It's a basic idea. In fact, the best composers working at the highest levels frequently have bespoke sample instruments aimed particularly at a project they're working on. This is a unique opportunity to get kind of a bundle of instruments that really they work and live together in the same way. It's got a lot of the beautiful Westwood programming tricks baked in, and well, there's an awful lot going on. Very quickly, before we listen to my demo pieces, take a look over here, and you can see the sort of 13 general categories, and there's a bunch of possibilities built into each one. Various strings, vocals, synths, a piano, electric guitar, electric bass, electric drums, drums in general, acoustic drums, and some interesting atmospheres. All of these things have specific controls that allow you to really mangle the sound as you go. Well, let's take a listen to my demo pieces. There's two of them, and the first one's kind of has a little propulsion to it. The second one, a little more towards the sort of somber world. Okay, so check this out. And then something perhaps a little more sustained, just for color. Immediately useful. These are, like I said, just it's almost at the bespoke level. I think we should just take a look at some of the instruments available within this giant sort of collection of things. Each GUI is a little bit different, each instrument a little bit different. So let's just roll back to the beginning and take a look. We actually have two different drum sets. There's an acoustic drum kit, and an electric one. Well, that was the acoustic. The electric drums are kind of cool here. Check this out. They have a little more, surprising character maybe would be the way to put it, and include some of that, darkness that is just part of the world of it. Some of them are beats, some of them are individual events. So here we go. Right? It's a whole sort of sound engine, right? You got controls down here for distortion. And we can, of course, have two things at once. Just out of curiosity, we'll just do it randomly. like I'm done already. That was just two notes at the same time. Great programming, beautiful sounds. You know, here, let's turn the resonance up. Let's listen to some other instruments. Well, here's the Atmospheres instrument and a familiar Westwood GUI with different tones on different articulations. It's almost like room tone, isn't it? In fact, by holding Shift, I can play two atmospheres at once. It's very thick, very stereo. And within each, I can do small editing things, including how the attack and release comes on. We might want to come on slower, whatever, the round robins, how those kinds of things get handled, how dynamics get handled. Like mod wheel might be a better choice for something like this, fading it in on a continuous controller. Well, there are so many instruments, I think we should move on. There are a lot of instruments that I guess I just would say are tempo synced, and this electric bass, I have it set to quarter note rhythms and muted at that. Fun. You can also just do longs. I think it's useful. Right now, we're not hearing it through an amp sim at all. And I guess I would just describe the electric guitar as similar. So let's pop over to the piano. And I'll tell you what, it's a scoring piano. They always do pianos well, those guys. And, just kind of what we'd expect. We've got a bunch of different mixes, including close and room. The reverbs are good. And, this is, again, just a really familiar setup for the Westwood GUI. So if you're familiar with any of their other instruments, you'll be able to jump right in immediately. The vocals are interesting. We've got chants and long tones. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You can hear I use those two phrases as part of the piece that I brought in. And each of these is different. Each of these articulations the improvs have a little character, a little life to them, don't they? There are several, what I would just describe as synths. Well, here's a synth, a swarm synth. Depending on where you play on the keyboard, you get a kind of a very spread out sound. We'll increase the swarm, which increases. You hear that? And there's some really cool things here. Like each of these sounds is different. Here, very smooth, very sort of mellow quality. And I can, if I wish, set all the banks to this sound for a really kind of thick version of that. We can make it monophonic and glide it around. I'm fully interested in this, and I'm still getting used to it because it's different from anything else from them. And yet I love swarm synths. Here's another synth, perhaps a little more familiar, and it includes an arpeggiator that gives you this beautiful pulse. It's the travel path. We got patches, right? Fun, squiggly fun. Low and high strings and legato strings is not going to replace your dedicated orchestral symphonic string programs, but some of them are pretty nice. And it is fun to have an LFO that goes chug chug chug, right? Yeah, it definitely is. And we've got long tones as well. It's gestural and it's got a lot of character, a lot of like dynamicism. And like I said, you can have things doubled up. Like we could have this and this. Yeah. Useful strings. Oh, I managed to get through everything. I hope it wasn't too long. Westwood continues to provide us with terrifically useful tools for working to picture, working as I do to theater or for dance, or just to generally kind of stimulate your creativity. A composer's palette influences their orchestration, and the orchestration is, almost sometimes 50% of the game. The sound of the instrument itself tells an important story in the whole composition. And so I really am grateful for their attention to detail and for the controls that they give us to shape and sculpt what's, already there. Novella Carbon just came out, so it's on sale right now. The whole novella series has been useful and winds up in my template. Something from the novella series winds up in almost every template that I do for each project. And I think part of it is just like sounds a little bit different from other things that I have. And that uniqueness is, I don't know, it's just crucial for me because it has vitality, it has life. Well, thanks again. I hope this was useful. Like and subscribe and ding the bell to be notified when I do my videos. I'll see you guys next time.